Good afternoon, Mr. Bain. My name is Steve LeCagnan. I'm the new president and CEO of the Morgantown Area Chamber of Commerce, and we're here today interviewing candidates for City Council. At this point, we offer to each candidate 2 minutes in which to describe themselves, identify who they are, what they're running for, what ward they're in, and anything else that comes to their mind that they think is relevant to their candidacy.
Okay, great. I've been on council for 16 years. That'll be 8 terms. I'm going for my 9th. My whole thing on this, I'm from Morgantown. I'm born here, raised here. I enjoy helping people. And I do take issue to, it is my hometown. I want to make sure it's right for everybody. I am a representative from First Ward, but I represent all 7 wards. I get calls frequently from other people from other sections of the town. And my whole thing on this, it's very simple. If you call me, that's my cell phone number that's on the website. So that's all. I carry this thing with me. And if I can't answer it, I'll get back to you. And that's what a council member should do. Should talk to them and pass on the information to the appropriate persons that can help them in the city. And my whole thing is we need to be a policy board more than anything else. We've got to concentrate on things that are fire, police, garbage, and other services, street department, those things, to make living here as best we can make it. So that's pretty much it. That's all I've got.
Thank you. We'll start with the first question then. That question is the transportation bill. As you know, it was passed by the West Virginia State Legislature in March of 2016, and it has become a priority for the Morgantown Area Chamber of Commerce. What we're seeking to do is to eventually obtain voter approval under the transportation bill for a 1% sales tax increase to improve roads and related infrastructure in Montague County. What will you do to publicly promote and advocate, if anything, for voter approval of the proposed sales tax increase for this purpose?
I want to say that I want to look at this very closely because we've added a lot of tax in Morgantown lately. And adding a 1% tax, it's got to be across the whole county then to make it fair for all businesses so that they have the same slate of everybody else. Because if we would do it only in pockets, for instance, if the city of Morgantown had done that, that kind of puts a disadvantage to those businesses in the city. If this has merit that's going to make the roads better, and we're going to be able to convince the public and also with policy that it would go to roads specifically in Mon County, I think you would have people that would probably really enjoy supporting that because it would make things better here.
Thank you. Our next question concerns the concept of an alliance housing the Morgantown Area Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Morgantown, Sunnyside Up, the Montague County Development Authority, and the Morgantown Area Economic Partnership, as well as the Greater Morgantown Convention and Visitors Bureau under one roof in a central location in Morgantown. That is a priority for the Chamber. What will you do to publicly promote and advocate for this to become a reality, if anything?
Well, I think this is a great concept because it's finally putting all the people saying the same thing and getting the choir members in the same pew. It's time that we put that, and if we put that force together and get people to understand how much power is behind that and how much we can get and synergize that movement into one location and get those ideas together, get those relationships together, get those connections together, it just makes it so much better. And it gives us that, finally, it gives us that voice in Charleston that we've always wanted. Because one of the problems that Charleston's always told us is, you're sending us different voices, different ideas. But if we can go down with 3 concepts and say, these are the top 3 things from all these people, then maybe we can get our legislature to actually say, okay, you finally got it on a rail and we're going the same direction.
Thank you. The next question has to do with metro government. What will you do privately and publicly to promote and advocate for the consolidation of local governments such as Morgantown, Granville, Westover, and Star City into a single metro governmental entity, if anything?
I think this is one of those ones that's hard. It's one of the hardest things you could ever do because it's like taking You know, when I was a kid, schools always gave an identity to an area of Morgantown. First Ward was what's named First Ward because it was First Ward School. You know, and Second Ward has split off from that because they had Second Ward School, but now you've got Greenmont and other names over there. So the thing is, it's hard to do that, and it would be something that we would have to work with the legislature to say what incentives would a Granville, a Westover, and Star City to join together with a Morgantown, and what do they get out of it? Because those citizens have a vested interest in their community. You know, people are proud to say they're from Star City. They're proud to say they're from Westover. So it's hard to take that. I'm proud to be from Morgantown. So it's one of those things that we have to really look at what other places have done that have put together metro governments, and what strategies have they used, and that would be a first step. It's always hard to think of that because I don't know if it would happen in my lifetime or even my kids' lifetime, but it's not a bad thing to at least look at the concepts and see what strategies we could have for the future.
Thank you. Our next question concerns the user fee, the city's user fee. And the question is, will you publicly support the idea of using some of the money generated by Morgantown's user fee to improve state-owned roadways that happen to run through the city of Morgantown?
If the state road would allow us to do some improvements, I would be all for it. One of the problems we've had, I'll give you a perfect example. Even in the winter, to clean off High Street Bridge, they give us a hard time, but that's a state-owned bridge. But we still run our brush hogs that go on to the sidewalks to clean them off because state road normally doesn't do that. But it gets down to that kind of thing. If they're willing to work with us, I think the presence of a change in council right now, a change that is one that's going to be more cooperative to outside entities, I think we can make some headway with that. And if we can help them in some way, if they're willing to give some money, we're willing to give some money, maybe we can get some of these roads that they're not touching and get them done.
All right. Our last question concerns your ideas, and the question goes like this. What ideas do you have to improve economic development and create economic activity centers within the city, since most of the economic development has occurred outside of the Morgantown city limits in the last 10 years in Montague County?
Yeah, I've spoken this at council. We're kind of the donut hole. You know, people love to use I'm in the greater Morgantown area, but you're not in Morgantown, and we're not getting the B&O tax, and there's other people that are prospering big time from having our name. What I'd love to see happen is some incubators inside the city, get some minds together that if we can work with, again, the state, county, every mind that we can get together to say what kind of things outside the box that we've not done before, what can we do? You know, what things are still available? We're kind of in a box now because we've kind of built out as much as we can. Now we need to build in, and that's the most difficult one because you have to take old structures down. You have to look at zoning. You have to look at how we can do some variances to make sense for the future and how we can change what dynamics we have downtown, and also in those areas that aren't developed yet, that we can maybe do things on the outskirts of town. And also, if we do a good job, maybe we can get some of those developers that are right on the edge of town to finally understand that, hey, this makes sense to be a part of Morgantown.
Thank you. We've now come to the point in our questions where you have an opportunity to sort of freewheel it for 2 minutes, tell the voters exactly what your candidacy is about, or any thoughts or ideas you have that you want to convey to them.
Okay. The biggest thing this time is I'd love to see more people come out and vote. We've had about a 9% vote count for a long time. We need you involved. There's a lot of neighborhood associations now that have stepped up and done a lot of different things, but I would really like to see a more involved community come out and tell us how you feel about things. And it's not a bad thing to say something that maybe I may not like. It's okay. It's okay to disagree. One of the things that's been out there is like we've had this 4-3 division in council. Well, the problem is that people don't understand how council works. Almost 90% of our votes are 7-0. And then when you go up to 6-1, it goes up to like 93%. And above that, then that's where the 4-3 comes in. But those are issues that it's okay to disagree, but have a discussion that makes sense. You know, we have people that continue to bring up stuff that is irrelevant to the whole thing of what we're doing and trying to govern Morgantown. Yeah, there was a lawsuit and all that business, and I don't want to talk about that. The judges have discussed it. It's done. Let's move forward. And if we continue to keep ourselves digging that hole and going backwards, it doesn't help us. You know, one of the things that I pushed for council this last time was I wasn't going to leave that room until we were 7-0 on a new city manager, because I wanted to make sure that the new city manager had the best chance to succeed. And the only way he can succeed is to have a 7-0 vote, and that's where we start. And no matter who I have to work with in the next, if I get elected, I would love to, and whoever I work with, I'm going to try to make it the best I possibly can, but try to work with more of the outside entities, the state and the county, and you all too.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
All right.